Welcome here to Can Angels Fly. I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to have a theoretical discussion. As you can see, uh, above my head is a picture of a rabbit's hole, and for this discussion, I am deep in a rabbit hole, specifically a religious-based rabbit hole. What I will be discussing in this video is, of course, theoretical. It's my thoughts that just came to me today. And again, it's just discussion, just discussion. This discussion, I know 100% will be controversial and very offensive. So I ask any person that's orthodox in religion and faith-filled not to watch this video. I hope that you will not, type any negative comments below. Because if this video is not for you, you're being forewarned that it's not for the orthodox, religious, full faith, believing person. Again, this video would be offensive, and I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just sharing my thoughts. And so in this video, I will be discussing my theoretical thoughts on the question that is posed below on the screen. And the question, if you can't read it, says, who are the 144,000 spoken of in the Christian Bible? This is not a Christian or religious-based channel. This is a channel that is in search of the truth, for the truth. And so today I am exploring this question, who are the 44,000 spoken of in the Christian Bible? Today, as I was doing some research as far as astrology and tarot, just suddenly out of nowhere, this question seems like it posed itself, and it seems as though it's answered itself. Now, I must confess that a part of the answer that was expounded upon today when I was doing my research on other stuff. Come on through here. Y'all just really getting on my nerves. Whatever. I apologize. Of course, y'all. I'm in the main hall of my house in the living room. So, family is coming through. I just needed more elbow room. So, again, I apologize. Anyway, questions relative to the 144,000 spoken of in the Christian Bible had in the past, distant past, some clues, I'll say, came to mind and began to pose and answer this question a long time ago. But as mentioned today, it seems like it just came all together. And what it seems, because again, this is theoretical, what I realized or have come to think about the Christian Bible, the King James Version Bible and other versions, the stories, at least the story of Revelation, that's what I'm talking about primarily now, is not for the real spiritual person. It's not even for those that are religious and faith-filled, believing in source, divine and divinity. It is not for us. So far, I haven't seen anything that really talks about saving a person that is faith-filled, orthodox, believing in source. I haven't seen that. What I have seen and come to recognize about this Bible, or the Bible, is that it is for a specific group of humans that exist in this physical realm. I'll try to make what I'm saying make sense as I move through this particular video. I do not anticipate this video is going to be long. Again, I'm just sharing a theory that I have, and it is directly related to the 144,000. And so what I'm going to do, rather than rambling, I'm going to start to read from my brief notes in order to help myself have a reasonable outline for this video so that it hopefully won't be too confusing. Remember, the subject matter to this video is who are the 144,000 spoke of in the Christian Bible. In past times, when I was a part of the church, I was led one way or another to believe that there were elect group of people that would exist on earth during the final days. And these people basically were found blameless in the eyes of God. You know, they were reasonable. And so these 144,000 people would eventually be called to sit with Christ and to rule. And I believe in the Bible it referred to these 144,000 people as elders. And these elders, you know, it never was really shared when I was in the church who these elders would be and the criteria. And I always found that interesting. And it is even more interesting now because now I'm aware that there is an estimated 7.5 billion with a B people in the world. So if there are 7.5 billion people in this world of various nationalities, races, cultures, creeds, beliefs, behaviors, etc., who would be the lucky 144,000 people that were able to stay in a state that was highly acceptable to God, and therefore be selected to ascend on high with God and Christ and be an elder and help rule? I always had that question. Now that I am a little more advanced than I was some 20-something years ago, some of these, again, these questions and concerns I've had in the past have been answered. Today, it seems like I received a full revelation, and I mean up to pun, revelation of who the 144,000 are that are spoken of in the Christian Bible. Before I move forward, I like to offer one more warning to any Orthodox, faith-filled, die-hard religious person that will be offended with what I will be saying here, because it is controversial, and I ask you not to view this video so we ain't got to fall out here on YouTube. And now I'm going to move forward. So the question again is, who are the 144,000 spoken of in the Christian Bible? The first thing I would like to look at is the actual number of 144,000 and what is the possible relevancy of such a number. Upon researching the number 144,000, I came to learn that 144,000 is what is considered a natural number in mathematics. In short, the number 144,000 suggests counting items, just counting something. Natural numbers suggest just counting something one at a time. So we're talking about counting from 1 to 144,000 items, or people in this case, or biblically speaking, saints or elders. Now, 144,000, the number 144,000 is also, what was it else? Another thing about natural numbers, and 144,000 is a natural number, is that natural numbers are a basis from which many other number sets may be built by extension, like y'all know I don't read very well, multiplicative inverse, in which a number which when multiplied by x is the unknown, we'll say, yields the multiplicative identity. And so I'm going to make that make sense for those, including myself, that are not mathematicians. What I believe that is saying is that, as far as mathematics, the number of 144,000 is considered a natural number. And natural numbers are numbers that are used to count, like in counting items, individual items, counted one at a time in order to come up with a total number of items. Not only is the number 144,000 a natural number, meaning a total number of items or total number of people and or a total number of elders, it also, the natural numbers also are the same numbers that are used in order to create, other number sets. And when I say that, other number sets, meaning like taking 1 and 2 to make 12, or 2 and 3 to make 23, meaning the very basic numbers of 1 through 9 can create any set of numbers. And why is that relevant when speaking about the number 144,000? It is because it suggests, since 144,000 is a natural number, there's two things that happens. The first is a person, an individual, maybe a mathematician, adds up all of the initial items. Here we're talking about people, or elders, or saints. So a person, me, or the mathematician, understands that a count has been taken about how many elders or people or saints will be a part of this group of elders. And the count is 144,000. Because, this is the multiplying part, because these 144,000 people or elders or saints exist or will exist in this physical world at an appointed time, there are followers to each of those 144,000. So those followers are represented by the letter X. 144,000 times the followers, meaning that there are, what's the word? I say multiples. There are an enormous amount of people that are related to the 144,000. Right now, I'm just going to focus on these 144,000 people in order to find out who they are. Now, what I have realized, this is what I realized many years ago, but the thought or the answers never came flooding in like they did today. I realized that 12 times 12 equals 144. 144. Let's talk about the first 12 units. The first 12 units, or the units, are directly related to astrology, I'll say. Astrology. So right now, we are talking about coming to understand who these 144,000 people are that are spoken of in the Christian Bible. And I am contending that these 144 people are elders or saints that are spoken about in the Bible that will sit to the left and the right hand of Christ are a particular breed of people that will exist at an appointed time in the history of humanity. Astrology. How does astrology play a part in this? Well, let me explain. There are 12 houses in the zodiac. It's the first house through the 12th house. The first house, Aries; second house, Taurus; third house, Gemini; fourth house, Cancer; fifth house, Leo; sixth house, Virgo; seventh house, Libra; eighth house, Scorpio; ninth house, Sagittarius; 10th house, Capricorn; 11th house, Aquarius; 12th house, Pisces. And then there are the signs, which I named as I named each house. So there are 12 houses, and there are 12 zodiac signs. 12 times 12 is 144. But the question is, who are the 144,000 spoken of in the Christian Bible? So, how can I say this? If there are 12 houses and there are 12 zodiac signs in astrology, and these, what are they called? What do they call it? The use of astrology is like a calculation, I say, like a calculation. And so each house has its own meaning. It is a stage in this life. And each zodiac sign has its characteristics and traits. And so when you multiply the 12 houses by the 12 zodiac signs, you get a total number of possible combinations, possible character traits. But moreover, because we're trying to get to the 144,000 part, where does the thousands come in? So what I did was research the number 1,000. The number 1,000 is directly related to the term millennium. And it also represents, guess what, y'all? A unit of items. A unit of items. And relative to what I'm speaking about, I hope I'm making this make sense. What items are we talking about? We're talking about a select group of people that will exist at an appointed time in the history of humanity that will be found upright in the eyes of God and Christ, and will be allowed to sit at the table to the right and the left of Christ. These 1,000 people or units share in one thing. This is what makes them a unit, that they will be found appropriate to sit with Christ. That's what they all have in common. And so how do they get to this standing? How do these elders, these 144,000, get to be the kind of people that Christ wants to sit with him and to rule with him? It is through these particular people who we don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. These people are in the making. They're being created during the course of their life. And they are being made and created and refined through their experiences that take place in this physical world that mold their character. And that molding process, the defining of who they are, is directly related to their astrology. Those 12 houses, those 12 zodiac signs. 12 times 12 is 144 times 1,000 of those that will come to fit into the criteria that makes them worthy to sit with Christ. So 1,400 times those 1,000 units equals 144,000 items, people, saints, or elders that will be called to sit at the right and left hand of Christ. Now that I said everything that I wanted to say, I'm going to try to summarize what I said. So hopefully I'll make it make more sense. In short, what I was trying to share is that a soul is born into this physical realm, and they take on a vessel, a body. And each body that comes in here, in this realm, has its own unique relationship to this physical realm. Anything that happens to a person, a soul, while in this physical vessel, whatever happens to that vessel affects and helps the development of the soul. So there has been foretold that there are going to be 144,000 people that will come into, again, alignment with Christ through their life experiences. Now, each of these people will have their own unique life experiences. We know that because there are what? 12 astrological houses, and there are 12 zodiac signs. And they are, it's random. It's a random kind of technique. What's random? These people are being formed and fashioned in the course of their life by their unique life experiences. When it's all said and done, and the fat lady does sing, these people will be of like essence as is the essence of the Messiah. They'll be one and the same. Now, I must repeat that what I'm going to share here is highly controversial and will be very offensive to some. So please, I do ask you once again, if you're hypersensitive, do not watch this video. And so I move forward. I've just attempted to explain, to articulate who these 144,000 people spoken of in the Christian Bible will be, or how they will come into being. They're being formulated. They already were who they are. When I say that, what do I mean? I'm saying before they took on a physical vessel, their energy had a particular resonance, a particular frequency. And then they came into this physical world and took on a physical vessel, had their own unique life experiences, and that essence, their essence, their frequency, their resonance was refined, it was tightened, and it was magnified. It, by the time all of these prophecies play out, their essence will be undeniable. It will be incontestable. So I move forward. Still talking about the 144,000 and its relevance. I don't know if I'm saying relevance. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. Relevance. I'm not saying that right. That's interesting, but y'all know what I'm saying. I was about to try again. To scripture is that the number 144,000 was used in the book of Revelations. It appeared at least 3 times. One is in Revelation chapter 7, verses 3 through 8. And the portion of the scripture that I will be reading reads as follows. Saying, do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees until after we have sealed the servants of God on their foreheads. I'm going to repeat that. I'm reading from Revelations chapter 7, verses 3 through 8, just a portion. And it reads as, saying, hey, do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees until after we have sealed the servants of God on their foreheads. Wow. Okay. Now, I have to go back in the past. When I heard that, when I was involved in the church, I was led to believe, or my imagination ran wild, and I was believing that in the final days, divinity, of course, would select, well, God would select certain people and mark them on their forehead. They were holy. I thought they were holy. But today, the message I got is that these people that this scripture or this verse was talking about they are not holy. And I'll show you why I've come to believe that. Now, mind you, I must share here. I wasn't even in search of this information today. It just came up. How? Right now, I can't even tell you, but I'm here. So let me read this verse one more time from Revelation 7 through verses 3 through 8. And the reason why I'm reading it, because in this verse is where approximately one of the mentions of the 144,000 takes place. However, I'm reading it in part because I want to point out something. And so I read once again. And the scripture says, "Do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees until after we have sealed the servants of God on their foreheads." Now, at this time, I'm about to jump somewhere else completely different because I want to show you something. What I'm about to try to show you is how these saints, or these 144,000 that are prophesied to be sealed on their foreheads by God before all hell breaks loose, are not saints. So now I'm about to focus on basically the beast that is talked about in Revelation as well. The number of the beast, as you may know, is 666. In Revelations, verse 16, it says, and I read, "He causes all, both small and great." Who is he? We're talking about the beast. So I repeat, he, the beast, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. I repeat one more time. Reading Revelations verses 16. He says, he is the beast, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. Why is that important? Because now this verse is saying that the beast is going to lead humanity, at least it says, small and great, rich and poor, free and slaves, to receive the mark, a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. In the previous verse from Revelations, I read Revelations chapter 7, verses 3 to 8, that portion, said that God the servants of God, the 144,000, will be sealed on their foreheads. So what am I saying? I'm saying the servants of God, those 144,000 people that were fashioned to sit at the right and left hand of Christ, will be sealed on their forehead. And guess what? The people that will be manipulated or forced into taking the mark of the beast will be marked on their right hand or on their forehead. What's the difference? What's the difference? Both will be marked on their foreheads. That says something. But I move on. let me see how I can put this in order, because I was just writing as I was having this, gaining this information. I have to go back now, and did this thing go off? It's the TV going out, I think. I don't know. I apologize. Everything blacked out again. I need to go back and talk a little bit more about the 144,000. As I have stated, or attempt to state, or to articulate appropriately, is that the 144,000 people, or elders, or saints, those that will sit to the right and left hand of Christ and rule in the new, the new world, are being fashioned in their life to do so. And they are being fashioned and molded to be a certain type of people or being. And what is molding them and fashioning them is their experience here in this life. And their experience here in this life is being processed through the 12 houses of the astrology and the 12 zodiac signs as they click like a clock, bringing in necessary life experiences in order to get them into a particular mind frame. They're being refined. And throughout their life experiences, their I am is being defined with great details. What am I saying? Each unit, or each item, or each person, or each elder, or each saint, however you like to label them, is being refined. They, or their I am, is being defined with great details. Who they are and who they will be is incontestable. There's an appointed time that is prophesied to happen that there will be no questions. There will only be knowing. And what is known about these 144,000 unique people is that they are a unique type of people. And they resonate on the same frequency as Christ. Now, almost done. These 144,000 people are broken up into 12 tribes. In the Bible, they're referred to as far as being categorized as the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, I'm going to try to name the 12 tribes of Israel, but if I can't pronounce it, then I'll just spell it. The first one is, I say Judea, Judah. The next one is Reuben, Gad, Asher, Asher, and then it's Naphtali. I'll spell it Naphtali, and then it's Manash. I'll spell it Manassheh. The next tribe is the tribe of Simeon. I can pronounce that. Then Levi, and then Issachar, Issachar. Then the next tribe is Zebulun, Zebulun, I don't know. I'll spell it. Zebulun. Then the tribe of Joseph. And then finally, the 12th tribe is the tribe of Benjamin. These 12 tribes are directly addressed in the Bible. And God talks about each of these tribes' weaknesses and how they may have struggled. And he also talks to them and addresses and shares with them what he really appreciates about them and their strength. And I do believe he goes in a little bit and talk about how that particular tribe is beneficial, like, to the future. And that's why these unique individuals were selected. And what I want to pose here is that these 144,000 people are really defined, remember their I am, by their character traits, what they will do and what they will not do, what they believe in and what they stand for. And that is made obvious again when, or in the addressing of each tribe, because it says you do this and you don't do this and you serve this purpose when we start talking about each tribe. So let me try to clarify one more time what I'm saying, because in this video we are down a very, very deep rabbit's hole, a theoretical rabbit's hole, and so I think it's important. We're just having this discussion, but it's deep. It's deep. It's real deep. The rabbit hole is deep. These people that have been fashioned have particular characteristics, but it's one in common that all of them share. All of these character traits, all of these characters share. It's one character trait that all these characters or figures share. And what they all share is the unwillingness to relinquish this world. These 144,000 spirits that are, or souls that are in physical vessels, are rejecting source. These 144,000 souls that are in a physical body for such a time as has been prophesied, which is the end time. I believe are the elitists that will exist at an appointed time in the history of humanity. And that appointed time is the end time that the book of Revelation speaks of. It has been foretold that there is a time period in which 144,000 people will be in union with Christ, and they will rule. I do believe they call them elders. That's one of the labels. And these 144,000 people are the elite class that exist in this physical realm right now. Out of 7.5 billion people, billion with a B, that are estimated to exist at this point in time in the history of humanity, there are 144,000 elitists. Elitists, from my perspective, are those that have come into this world and are descendants of a particular bloodline, a family bloodline. And these family bloodlines, which are minimal, have access to vital information relative to our experience in this physical world. These people, these descendants, are born into these families and taught this vital information, where the rest of humanity has no idea, and we just fumbling around. But they, the elitists, their bloodline, their family, are in, and always have been, in pursuit of taking over the world or dominating the world. And so the 144,000 people are these elitist families and their descendants, the people that basically rule our world. They will sit with Christ and rule over the new kingdom. Still talking, gotta still ride the wave if you're willing to stay down in this rabbit hole with me. Again, this is mere theory, but I have more. Now, still talking about these 144,000. Well, let me see. Right now, this is what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm going to talk about the parts of the Bible that are present primarily in the book of Revelations, where it talks about the day that comes, that period in the history of humanity, where anyone on the face of the earth will either have to take the mark of the beast, and it be on the right hand or on the forehead, in order to buy, to trade, to sell, etc., etc. As mentioned earlier in this video, those that are a part of that group, elected group, the 144,000 that have a particular soul, a particular character traits, and a particular frequency will be marked on their forehead. Why are they marked on their forehead? Why are they marked on their forehead when it's been already said that, now these are supposed to be the righteous, holy people, at least I was led to believe. Why are they too marked on their forehead with the others that will be marked with the 666? It is because they are a unique group, and they are unique because what? They have been fashioned. They have allowed themselves, I'll say, to be improperly influenced by their experiences here in this physical realm. And that improper influence that they went through and accepted changed the status or the state of their soul. These 144,000 people, these souls and avatars, I believe, are the darkest souls that exist. And they in this physical realm, have been able to manipulate circumstances, situations, and the rest of humanity in their favor, very selfishly. And because they were able to use their high level of intellect, that is their physical marking. This physical marking, let me see if I can talk about, I'm talking about the mark on the forehead, and how those 144,000 are the only ones that the mark of the beast will be on their foreheads. Only them. And the reason only they will be marked on their forehead, and I do not believe that is a literal marking. I believe it is an incontestable a person's dealings that makes their frequency, their energy, their essence undeniable and incontestable, therefore marking them. Talking about the 144,000 that will be marked on their forehead by the God of this realm, who is Satan, is that the marking really is their intellectual capacity. These people were, again, they were given the heads up, or they were given a head start because they were born into a particular family and had access to vital and critical information relative to our existence and spirit experiences here in the physical realm. They chose to use that critical information to turn things in favor of themselves and their bloodline, and to mislead and suppress the rest of humanity. That takes a high level of intelligence. A person must be skillful, proficient, persuasive, and all of these things. So they have a really, really high level of intellect. It is their mind that has bound them to the 666, or the mark of the beast. That is to say, their mind is the beast. Their mentality is beastly. That is their mark. Now, I like to talk about who else, again, this is theory, or who else will carry the mark of the beast. Remember, other people inside, other people in this world at an appointed time will be marked on their right hand with the mark of the beast. And who are they? Now, what I failed to research, because after I heard this, so I don't know the exact portion, but this is just what I heard. And when I say heard, the downloads I speak of, is that there is a portion of 705 billion with the B people, we'll say minus 144,000, that are right-handed. And then there is a smaller portion of humanity that is left-handed. The left-handed people are not covered in this Bible. The left-handed people, and this is just an example. I'm not saying all left-handed people go to heaven. Like, no, I'm not saying that all left-handed people go to heaven. This is an analogy. This is an example, and this is how I believe the ratios or portions have been decided prior to the experience, or has been able to be prophesized, is that left-handed people are the portion of them, the number, the total number of left-handed people in the world is considerably less than those that are right-handed. The left-handed people represent the portion of the population, those 7.5 billion people, that are not a part of the story. That's a whole nother story. Those people are the people that are not cutting themselves off from source or the real creator. They're not cutting themselves off from, again, source. So I'm talking about, there is the God of this realm, who is Satan. That's the one that we have been led to worship for almost 100 years. So these people have not separated themselves from the true creator. That's a whole nother story. So just know that there are people that are not separated from source, and they are in a good place to be, I'll say, absorbed back up into all once outside their physical vessel. These people have not been improperly influenced by this physical realm and will find direct passage back to source. Now I'm going to let them know. Back to the right hand and the mark of the beast. So now we have a large portion, or we have a portion of humanity. There is a portion of right-handed, we'll say, people in humanity out of the 7.5 billion with the B people. And no, I'm not saying all right-handed people are in alliance with Satan and will be marked with the beast. This is an analogy or an example. I believe that it shows the percentage of who will be marked by the beast, or embody and execute the energy of darkness in this world. And it is equivalent in some way or proportionate to those that are right-handed. Anyway, why in the hand? What does the right hand represent? The hand itself represent? Remember, when I was speaking about the 144,000, they are marked on their forehead because they use their intellectual power and supremacy to suppress the rest of humanity. Therefore, they are marked with the beast because their mind is beastly. The rest of humanity that will end up being marked in their right hand will be those that your hands allow you to work. They allow you to do your deeds and things like that. Your hands are a tool that you use to choose. And so this large portion of humanity at an appointed time will select, they will be based on the world's rules and regulations and do's and don'ts and ordinances and ways of earning and living. These people will select to do whatever it is they select to do. And it shows and reveals that their experience here in this physical realm, because their souls and physical bodies having an experience, that they have allowed themselves to be improperly influenced. Therefore, their soul has been improperly influenced and has fell into a negative vibration through the works of their hand. And so it actually shows, the hand shows selection. It shows not only selection, but works and deeds that one chooses to do. And these people are the common men and women of the world, and how they will choose to partake in, execute, and perpetuate whatever circumstances and situations aid and abet evil, aid and abet darkness, aid and abet the improper influences and experiences in this world, whether it's on themselves or another. And the reason why this portion of the population of humanity has come to do this is because of the works of the mind and the works of the elitists that set them up to do so. But again, you have a choice. So let me try to summarize what I was trying to say, trying to articulate to try to make it make sense. I'm saying that the 144,000 are the only people that will be marked on their forehead. That marking will not be a physical manifestation in reality anyway. They are marked by a beastly mind. The knowledge that they had, they used to help destroy humanity, to lead humanity to destruction, as well as in an attempt to dominate the world. And ultimately, their goal is to defeat death so that they could reside in this paradise forever. And so that is the marking upon their forehead. The rest of humanity will be marked on their right hand. The right hand suggests a particular portion of humanity that will fall to these devices of those that are in power. And these people, this portion of humanity, will do works, evil works. They will do whatever it takes to satisfy their own personal aims, wants, needs, and desires. They will perpetuate evil. They will do evil. They will speak evil. And their hearts will be cold. And they're going to do the works that line up with it. That's why their hand is marked spiritually in a way that they will not be able to deny that before Source, the true Creator. They will not be able to deny it. Neither will the 144,000 be able to deny that they use their intellectual supremacy to superiority. They will not be able to deny that they used it to mislead the rest of humanity to destruction. It was, I think, one other thing I wanted to talk about. It was one other thing, and I can't remember what it is. Almost every single video, I forget something. It was something that I wanted to say. And I didn't think I would forget. I did not think I would forget. So let me summarize, because this video was longer than I thought it would be. And I'm trying to think, y'all, what I was going to say. I was trying to think. Well, I'm going to just summarize what I said, because it was a long video. I tried to break it down in order to fully share my theory about what I was hearing, you know. I know what it was. So going on and still talking a little bit more in detail about the Bible and Revelation, the chapter after chapter, it ends up saying that, eventually Satan and his demons will be cast, and those that took the mark of the beast will be cast into hellfire. Also in Revelation, it talks about the second kingdom of God coming back, descending upon the earth, a new earth, a new experience is renewed, is restored back to paradise. And what am I saying? Remember early on in this video, I was saying the Bible, the story, the book of Revelation is not for the left-hand people. Again, I'm not talking about all left-hand people go to heaven. I'm talking about a particular percentage or portion of humanity that this has nothing to do with. These left-handed folks that I speak of as a portion or an example or a part of humanity have not been improperly influenced by their experience. These people right here, that right now I'm talking about, when their soul came in and took a physical body and they had their experiences, they did not cultivate a dark nature. And they stayed honest and true and clean. And they, for that, are permitted to be, again, absorbed back up into all or source. You will be made whole. But the portion, the right hand portion, and I'm not saying all right people go to hell. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it suggests a percentage or a percentage of the population of humanity that will be negatively affected, or that have been negatively affected when this percentage of humanity came into this physical world. Their soul took on a body, and the body had its set of unique life experiences. It's a particular portion that has been misled and have been improperly influenced, and therefore have been made susceptible to such dark works and deeds, and so they are marked by their deeds. That so what am I saying? I'm getting mixed up again. I'm almost forget. So what am I saying? Those people that we're gonna say left hand going to heaven people, I'm not talking about them. They have nothing to do with this. I'm talking about the people that will be marked on their right hand. And I'm also talking about those people that are those 144,000, those people that had a high level of intelligence and they used it for evil. Those people will be marked in their forehead. Remember, in the Christian Bible, it says that the kingdom of heaven will come. This is going to be a new earth. It is. And it also talked about casting Satan down into hell with anybody else that had the mark of the beast into hell. What does that mean? Those two differing or opposing stories are talking about the same group of people. The same group of people. See, these people, those that are marked on their forehead and in their hand, they're going to have a new world. Remember, it's going to be a particular way of, they're going to be a whole new set of beliefs. It's a new paradigm, a whole new set of beliefs, new levels of technology, new ways of doing things. It's no bars hold, those kind of things. And so, things like cryptocurrency and all of these wonderful benefits to advancing in technology, making the world a much more cleaner and efficient place, right? That's the heaven. That comes down, the new paradigm. And at the same time, these people, what it say in the Bible, what is it to gain the whole world but lose your soul? This other story about Satan being cast into hell, again, represents those parties that have the stamp on their forehead and in their hand. That they are the same people that gets the kingdom of heaven, the new paradigm, and whatever it consists of, as well as they end up separating themselves from source, the true creator. that is them casting themselves into hell. And that's all of them. The elitists, the 144,000, as well as the rest of the millions of other billions of people that will have been misled and improperly influenced and will continue to perpetuate evil and darkness in this world. And I remember, and I've kept talking about it during different astrological readings and different lives, where I was looking at about, I want to say, 2025 or something. By 2025, we'll start seeing it, I think it was. But by 2050, that we won't even recognize this place. It is possible, if we don't totally blow this mother sucker up, that this world will look like somewhat of a paradise, a futuristic paradise. But the souls that reside here in physical bodies will be actual demons. That's the part with them being in hell in the Bible, in last few verses of Revelation. And what does it mean to be in hell? It means to burn with passion and desire and want and longing and not being able to satisfy. You may be able to pacify, but you can never satisfy. So what am I saying again in short? Is that the portion of the population that will exist here in this physical world at an appointed time, in the times now, and in our near and distant future, that those that are sealed on their foreheads, the 144,000 that will be sealed on their foreheads, are from those elitist family lines that had advanced knowledge and use it for evil. And those that are marked on their hands are the common men and women that have been improperly influenced by their experience in this realm. And they will do whatever needs to be done in order to try to pacify their urges, longings, needs, wants, and prerequisites for life by any means necessary. Those people are they are the same, the story of the new heaven and devil being cast into the pit for 1,000 years is all about them. It's all about them. They simultaneously get a new kingdom, a new paradigm here in this physical world, but they also permanently separate themselves from the source. This particular group or populace of humanity will continue to exist generation after generation, up to 1,000 years it says, and they will burn, not physically burn with fire so much, but they're going to burn with longing and desires and wants and needs and not being able to satisfy. They're going to get so tired generation after generation because there's no break for them. There will be no break for them. That's the best way I can say it. No break for them. They will never ever see the light at the end of the tunnel. And when I say the light at the end of the tunnel, I'm talking about coming to a place where one no longer has to keep doing whatever it takes to satisfy and pacify their physical wants, needs, urges, desires. They will continue to reincarnate into this realm century after century after century, never ever being able to be free from it. That's some deep stuff. Now, I do have a question now. Does it ever end? Will this realm ever be completely destroyed? Which means this world will have to be completely destroyed. I did see some stuff about that too. But that started way back when it had to do with those volcanic action. activity. I saw that like 2 years ago, and so I kind of do have some evidence about what will happen after that 1,000 years is up. And at the same time, there was one other thing that I saw or heard today, and it was about while all of this is going on, Earth herself, if you follow me, you've heard me talk about how Earth has to resettle herself, recalibrate, fill in her the various gaps and caverns and sites where she has been drilled out, pumped out, dug out. She has to again recalibrate herself and get back to work to creating and processing the way she has for millions of years. She must. That's what she was made to do. And during this time period, this earth will still quake and shake. And I bring that up because remember, although we can decorate this earth and make it really pretty, it was us who messed it up anyway. So if we clean up, sweep up, and do all nice stuff like that, we can really make it nice. And even though that be the case, the truth of the matter is the earth will still be shaking and quaking until she resettles herself. So those that are left in this earth and will continue to reincarnate back into this earth will still have to deal with that. Is definitely no getting around that. Another thing that I saw and I heard is that, all of the fracking and drilling and all of that has taken place on this earth, the earth has released her gases, and those gases only go so far up in the atmosphere and things like that. And so it is causing changes in the heavens. And so we're talking about various storms and things like that. And then another thing that I don't often hear about, and I guess if I was deeper into astrology, I would hear people talking about this, is that the various, what they call it, orbits of the various planets are changing. They're changing. I was like, big ol' eyes. They're changing. Again, these planets and stars and things have been revolving and rotating and doing all that for millions of years, probably. Have I been here millions of years to testify to that? No. But I've heard through various scientific, research and studies, it's been going on for millions of years. So I know it ain't been in the last 100 years that these rotations have taken place. So they've been going on long before me, you, and any of us that exist now. And so I bring that up because things that are in motion change their motion and direction relative or as a result of other things that are near it or has influence or impact. And so I bring that up because we know that there are other celestial bodies out in space and they're moving around and they're flinging stuff and doing things like that. And so another thing that appears to be on the agenda is increased like asteroid showers and things. We see it happening now. But based on like biblical prophecy, a lot more of the, what do you call it, cosmic debris will also be coming to Earth. And of course, causing some forms of devastation. Why do I bring that up? It is because all of this is a part of the new paradigm. What is going to be the problem relative to people that exist now and are conscious now is that, remember when I talk about the frequency of time is so slow that we can't see it. It's like watching paint dry. And because the frequency of change is so slow, it's difficult to see. Um, Humanity is at a place that they don't know that they need to react in order to limit what is to be, to limit destruction. They can't see where they're going. And much of humanity is blind, and they're blind due to different different reasons. And why is it important? Why is any of this important or relevant? It is a theory. I do believe in my theory, though. Why is it important? It is because it seems to me, just possibly, that the souls that exist have always exist. It's just that the souls take on various avatars or costumes or bodies during the various periods in the history of the world. If that is the case, that's reincarnation. If that is the case, the chances are that anybody that has been marked with the number of the beast will continue this reincarnation cycle that I've spoken of. The good news is those left-handed people, all left-handed people go to heaven. Those people are going to be released from the reincarnation cycle during this process. And it seems, again, the frequency of change is you can't see it. So I project that there are people that when they exit this realm, starting, I think it starts in 2020 or 2025, somewhere in there. I'm going to say 2020 because I remember seeing something. But I'm just putting the pieces of the puzzle together that I've seen. So I'm going to just, say 2020, but I can't verify that. I would have to go back and watch some old videos or find old notes. So I'm going to say 2020. And this change or this time period of ending the reincarnation, that's a reincarnation, a cycle, is scheduled to end based on past generational cycles. And so I want to say one of those generational cycles is ending it, and it's 2020, but I don't know. I have to find old notes. And so whenever humanity hits that end of that particular generational cycle, it breaks this reincarnation karmic loop for some. And those are those left-hand people, those people that all go to heaven. And y'all know I'm just joking. But those people that we really didn't talk about much, I just pointed them out so that you know they are there. Those people are going to be released from this realm. But the rest of them are going to continue to reincarnate back in and out of this realm until it is, I can't say no more, because again, a couple of years ago, I saw some stuff about a year before, a year and a half before the volcanoes in Hawaii erupted. That was one of my about my third or fourth prediction here on YouTube, and it says something once that it wasn't that those volcanic eruptions in Hawaii were an initiation or triggering to a future to a very distant manifestation in this physical realm, and it has to do with what will reside here after the destruction of humanity. I do believe that eventually, now I'm not talking about the Bible stuff, I'm talking about with all the pieces of the puzzle in place. It does seem like, you know, it says in 1,000 years in the Bible, then Satan will be released. I think that in 1,000 years, oh, that really makes sense. Yep. Just thought about it. In 1,000 years after all of those left-hand people transition out of this realm, you know, it takes the frequency of change you cannot see. So we won't even see these people leaving, and you know you don't remember a coming and going. You don't know your old avatar versus your new avatar, so you won't even know that these people are gone, or these souls are gone from this realm. So those that do continue to reincarnate back and forth in here for thousands of years, therefore there are what 10 generations, 10 centuries or something like that, about 10 centuries about it. About, what would that be, about 7, I'm getting lost, 10 centuries. To say people live to be 100 with the advancement of technology eventually. We're going to say 10 centuries equal 1,000. So 10 centuries of reincarnating, then that's when the devil, biblically, is supposed to be released from the abyss and do the final battle and all that kind of stuff. That's when I do believe humans as we know it will be destroyed. They will be destroyed. And so that's 1,000 years from now. Nothing for us to cry on over. If we're at 2019, that would be what, 3019? A long way off. Again, you'll be back here if you're part of the reincarnating crew of those that have been marked as another being in another vessel. But after that, based on what I saw a couple of years ago when I saw the volcanic action starting to take place out in, I think it was the Pacific Ocean is what I reported, between, it was starting in Hawaii and there was something going on in the Pacific Ocean between that and Easter Island or whatever it was that I reported in the video. It's a particular creature that is spawning now. It's a particular creature that is spawning. And it will come into being as, I guess, the primary life force here on this earth in 1,000 years and a day. 1,000 years and a day. I thank whoever sat through this video and had this discussion with me. I really appreciate you. I hope if you enjoyed the content here at Can Angels Fly, which is a tarot channel, we just discussed so much more, that you would like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Bye.